Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7. Live on hot7025fm.com.
Close your eyes. Imagine a room that doesn't just look beautiful, it feels alive. The lighting is perfect, the energy is electric, and the scent of gourmet creation is in the air. Now look around. You aren't just checking the kitchen or hovering over the guest list. You're in the moment. You're the life of the party. Welcome to the world of irresistible events and catering. In a city built on spectacle, we specialize in spectacular. At Irresistible Events and Catering, we just don't fill plates, we curate memories, because our philosophy is simple, elegant, and absolute. We plan, cater, and style any event. Why settle for ordinary when you can have the irresistible? Elevate your event at irresistibleeventslv.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
Hey, this is The Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. Tune in every Thursday at 5 p.m. to listen to dope people, dope topics, and dope vibes. Hey, this is Her Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, where we bring you the best in hip-hop, R&B, pop, and talk. Tune in. Hey. Thank you for tuning in to The Flow right here with Her Flow at Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. You guys, it has been a hot week, so I hope you're hydrating, drinking plenty of water, taking care of your mental and emotional health, and doing all the things that's going to benefit you and uplift your spirits, okay? Today, as always, I have a special guest in the studio. We have the GOAT, because I always say everybody that comes on this show is going to be a GOAT, okay? Greatest of all time, okay? We have a young lady here who has a company, and it's solely rooted LV, and she's on all your platforms, your social media platforms, and she has a company called Rage Release, where she does Rage Release, and we're going to talk about it today. So I'm going to let her go ahead and introduce herself, but I'm going to first tell you guys better listen, because that's the assignment. Okay, that's the assignment. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to introduce our guest today. Go ahead, Raven.
Hi, I'm Raven from Breathe with Raven, umbrella company. Our umbrella company is Solely Rooted LV. We've been hosting events here in Vegas for about 7 years now, so this will be our 7th annual Rage Release, where we meet up in the desert. What I specialize in is I'm a yoga practitioner, so I have blended wellness with the need to release the anger that we hold in our bodies. I think it's the emotion that we struggle with the most. Especially in the African American community, we aren't taught to release our anger. We're taught to store it. We're taught to hold it in our bodies, and we don't give ourselves permission to release anger because it has been given a connotation of being a ugly emotion. And so what we do at the Rage Release is we turn anger into something beautiful. We go into the middle of the desert. We spread out hundreds of breakable things, and we gather and we bust down all those breakable things. And then after we break them, we sit with our body and our breath, and we see what has come up, and we do breath work and beginner's yoga.
Got it. So I'm going to tell the story. We were in a store. And the type of person that I am, I love to talk to people. You guys know that's why I'm here. But I met Raven, and we just connected, and we just started talking. And just to let you know, the community that she's in, I'm also in. So just to let you know that too. But however, she was just amazing, and her spirit was so great. And I was like, what do you do? Like, you got to tell me what you do. And she started talking about the Rage release. And I was really excited. I've been to one, but I'm really excited to try to go to her event. I hope I can make it. But I just thought she was amazing. So here she is today. So just to let you know the story. So like, we connected. That's the end of that was the beginning of the story. All right. So let's talk about Rage release. Now, when did you start Rage release? And was it a personal story behind that, Raven, that helped you to start this company?
Absolutely. I started as Breathe with Raven. And initially, when I moved here in 2020, that was right at the brink of COVID. So there was just a lot of energy, and we were the first to get shut down. Breathe with Raven was one of the first things to get shut down because I was based out of a gym, and when everything shut down, they shut us down. And so that brought up a lot of anger in my body. I was already at the end of a divorce, and so I was using Breathe with Raven and my yoga journey to really help other women guide themselves through their divorce and the energy that you feel going through that, and the grief of giving yourself permission to grieve the marriage and still move forward, and understanding that something ending is the start of something new. So I started initially I just want to do yoga. And so it was saturated with events at the time. And I was like, well, how can I gear this in a way that lets people know that your rage is not your enemy? And so for me, my rage had become my enemy. And so I didn't want it to control me. And so I needed a place to put that rage, let that rage out, and give myself permission to just release. And so that is where Rage Release was born.
Right. And I know a lot of people can probably empathize with you that have gone through divorces or different things in their life. And so what I want to talk about is, what type of people come to your events? And do couples come together?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
We have all different type of people come. Men, even your children, as long as you're comfortable, because I find that it's a tool. Releasing your rage is a tool. And the earlier that we introduce that tool, the better and more successful we are in life. So I even allow all the way 8 and up. So if you're comfortable with your child, the tickets half price for children 12 and under. So if you are comfortable with your child being in this space and knowing that we yell and we scream and we scream affirmations, we scream what we need to release, we scream what we're holding on to, and we're literally taking it from the body and putting it out into the earth, and then we're releasing it onto these items. So all types of people come. We have couples come, and we do exercises with the couples, and a lot of times that gets really intense. The couples are yelling things at each other before they hit the items that really allow them to connect in a way that says, my rage doesn't define love. It doesn't define my ability to love you or to exude love. If I release my rage, I actually have more access to the love that I want to feel.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that concept. So tell me, we talked about, I saw where you said different, why you could feel rage, rejection, maybe betrayal, maybe heartbreak, feeling misunderstood, and trauma. Before I go into this, I want to ask, as I kind of went over that question, are there waivers that children need to sign, the parents need to sign for the children?
There are waivers for everyone.
Okay.
So when you purchase your ticket, there's actually a waiver that pops up that lets you know what you are signing up for, what you will be breaking, because protective gear is also included in your ticket price.
Got it.
So when you arrive, you do get glasses, and you get a protective vest to put on so that you are able to release in a safe space without worry about injury. Because I've been doing this for 7 years. My first 2, we were just out there just smashing stuff, just doing it. And there was glass going everywhere. There were things going everywhere. So we've hit a learning curve. Yeah. And so we've included the waiver and the protective gear in the cost of the ticket.
That is amazing. And I've been to a Rage event before, and I think I tore up the whole room. So I must have had a whole lot of things that I was letting out. But that was about 3 or 4 years ago now. And I just think it's an amazing thing. You don't realize like how much you're holding in until you actually go to one of those events, and then you're just like, oh man, because stress and anger and rage and all those things can do things to the body that we can't even imagine. Yeah. Heart problems, high blood pressure, mental issues, like so many different things that people are not aware. And some people don't want to tell people because there's a sense of shame. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Let's speak on that.
We literally attach shame and conditioning to rage and anger. And a lot of the times your anger is trying to tell you something. It's trying to communicate a need. And a lot of the times we live in a society where we aren't taught to focus on our needs and what lies underneath. So a lot of the times you're lashing out, you're impatient, your fuse is very short throughout the day, throughout the week. We go through a lot of different things. We get tugged on in a lot of different ways. And when you're getting tugged on in a lot of different ways, your anger becomes shameful. It becomes, how dare I be angry? Because we're taught we're supposed to be grateful. We're taught we're supposed to feel good about the things that we get in life. We're supposed to feel blessed. We're not supposed to give ourselves space
and
for
grace.
that rage and grace, most definitely. So a lot of the times, like I deal with a lot of clients and a lot of people that show up at the rage relief, and they don't realize that your grief can be telling you that you are experiencing rage. And grief doesn't just come in terms of losing someone. A lot of the times when we think about grief, we think about someone passing, or we think about, no, grief can show up. We can grieve. Like I learned in therapy to grieve my marriage. And to me, I knew that I wanted a divorce. So it was very hard for me because I'm like, why would I grieve something that I wanted to let go of? I knew very well that it wasn't healthy for me. But at the same time, my therapist informed me, she was like, no, you need to grieve the idea. You need to grieve what you thought it was going to be. You need to, and that led me into, how do I turn that into the yogic philosophy?
Pain into power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it literally,
I think you and I talked about that too.
Did.
Yeah.
And you literally turn your pain into something that you can utilize. And it's not to say I struggle with the dynamic, because I'm like, is that saying that like I want to go back? That I don't accept the loss? No. What it's telling you is that I had this idea in my body. And when my body lost the grip of that idea, something new was born. And if I don't give myself the space to release that, so that's even, we're talking degrees, we're talking motherhood, we're talking, there's a certain way when you think about motherhood that you're like, this is how my child is going to turn out. And when your child doesn't turn out that way, you have to grieve that process. You have to give yourself space to say, this is a whole human being. This is an entity. You didn't own that. You didn't have ownership. You were just a guide to that, you know, and I have 9 kids.
I love that, Raven.
Yeah.
I love that.
So when you have the more kids that I have, the more that I'm realizing that it's like playing a game of telephone.
Yeah.
Like you can teach them
And how
all
many
the
do
same
you have
lessons.
again?
I have 9.
Okay. Yeah.
So you literally learn, hold on, wait. I've taught you all the same lesson, and you all heard me completely
And
differently.
they're their own person is what people don't
Completely
realize. They grew up in the
different.
same house, same DNA most times, even if
Yes,
they're
all
stepchildren,
of
they're growing up in the same
Yes.
house, and you're like, I did teach the same.
I know I taught
but
you
everybody
this.
got it different.
Yes.
Right?
And that's
Everybody
why I
got
say it's
their
like-
version of you different.
Yes.
Even, right?
And even the ages of your children plays a part, because you're talking about like the version of me that my 2-year-old gets versus the version of me that my 13-year-old gets. Oh, baby, we talking 2 totally different versions of Raven. And so that can even introduce a rage, because you can become very short-sighted. You can say, oh my gosh, when I was 25 and I had my first kid versus now when I'm 35, it's like, oh, when I had my first kid, I was a different version of myself. I'm much more patient now.
You know what? I was just talking about that with my son the other day. That's so ironic that you and I, we connect on so many different levels. But I was just talking to my son the other day, and I was telling him, like, you know, the older one got the 20-year-old version of me, that 21-year-old version of me, right? I was in a whole different place, right? Because people think that when you're living life, right, that we have all the answers. No one has all the answers. We're taking this journey, and we're learning what we don't want so we can know what we do want.
Absolutely.
And in this journey, you may stop at the gas station. You may stop and smell flowers. You may stop because you have a flat tire. Really, that's what life is about. And we're all learning. You don't get to be a certain age, and I think, Raven, that people just go, you should know it. No.
Yeah.
It doesn't go like that. So I'm glad that you made that statement, because I totally agree with you.
And I think that the thing about it is that I actually lost a friend, a very, very close friend. And I developed a lot of rage about it, because I was like, how dare you? How dare you outgrow me? How dare you? And she said a statement to me that I sat with for months. She said, you're supposed to be self-aware. And so what that pointed out to me was, wait, do you think that self-awareness excuses me from the work? Because a lot of the time, knowing doesn't mean doing. I can know better. It doesn't mean that you're automatically going to do better. The application doesn't come effortlessly.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times you have to grieve that as well. You have to release the rage of, hold on, I knew that I wasn't supposed to do that. And forgiving yourself becomes a superpower because it's like, I did it anyway. And a lot of the times your self-awareness actually just infuriates you because knowing better, you're like, hold on. I'm not supposed to be still going down these same roads, making these same mistakes, doing these same things. But the reality of it is that application doesn't come so easy.
Exactly.
Change behavior doesn't come so easy. I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, we had 30 years of life before we met each other. We can be committed to the change and the change not come as quickly as we want it to. And so that's where grace comes in.
Exactly.
And when you are giving yourself, your partner, your children, everyone grace. I call my first son the first pancake. I'm like, I was figuring it out. I didn't know what was going to come out the pot. I had no clue. It could have went either way. I don't know. And with his sister, she's 2, it's like, he's like, you do? Yes, I do, because mommy learned. You learned alongside me, but I was literally in the pot cooking the meal as we were going.
Yeah, you were version 2 point something of your life at that time. And you only knew what you knew, so you knew. Yeah.
I can only operate from that space.
You know, and I just think too that sometimes we even if we give people grace, sometimes people don't want to become aware of their own situation, their own things. And I don't care how much space. Sometimes they have to do the work. And a lot of times people don't want to do the work because it opens up doors for trauma, for you to remember, okay, I have to work on myself with this. I have to work. And it's not, people think it's as easy as
It's not.
You know, and you're just flowers. No. When you're unraveling yourself, there may be tears. You may sit in a dark room.
A lot of tears.
You know, you may have to be quiet for a minute. You may have to go back to remembrance. You may have to, you know, one thing I want to say is that I had to speak, and this touches me quite a bit. I had to speak to the little girl in me. And I say this a lot because I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to speak to her. I didn't even know that she was still there in my depression, in my anxiety, in the things that I was going through at the time that I was going through them. And so it took me a long time, Raven. You know, we talked about this. It took me a long time to develop that sense of knowing for myself and saying, let me speak to her. Let me go back and speak to that little girl and say, hey, listen, don't worry. I got you from here. That traumatized little girl.
Absolutely.
I got you from here. But don't worry about this. This is version 5 point something of me. And I got you, right? And so even the higher version of myself, that next version of me, I had to speak to her and say, we're coming. I got you.
I'm on my way.
I'm on my way. But this is what I want to be. This is what I want that next version of me to be. And people try to meet you, we're going to talk about this too, where you were years ago.
Yeah.
And they still think you're in that space. And a lot of people are judgmental in that space, right? But you're no longer in that space. That was me not knowing me on my journey. And everybody's on a journey. Nobody has the complete answers to life or even the answers because it's always changing. It's fluid, right? Let's talk about that.
People will literally try to hold you hostage to a version of yourself that you've outgrown. And I think that it's so amazing when you stop. And that's why alignment becomes so important. And we stay in a lot of seasons in relationships that we've outgrown. And the reality of it is you cannot convince someone that the version of you is authentic. A lot of the times, because people aren't ready to do the work within themselves, they won't grow with you. So you'll outgrow them. And instead of just pivoting and changing your proximity, we stay close to people who trigger you. And that's when triggers become so prevalent. I tell my mother all the time, I'm like, you need to not be in environments that trigger you because you are pressing towards something. And a lot of the times the spiritual journey, we think that we're heading towards a light at the end of the tunnel. And at some point in that journey, you realize you're the light. You have to cultivate it. There's nothing to aim towards. You are in the tunnel and you are the light. And your light, the more you cultivate it, the more it grows. But if you are in spaces that trigger you, then you halt your growth. And you get stuck in spaces for far too long. I tell my husband all the time, he gets sick of me saying it. His ceilings become his floors. And then a new ceiling appears, baby. There's something else to aim towards. It never, he's like, this work. No, it never ends. You will conquer
because you're
this
becoming
thing.
A different version of yourself.
And then once you conquer this thing, there are layers. And so you have to deal with the layers as they come and that's where grace comes into play. Because a lot of the times you're like, I'm going to heal from this. I'm going to deal with this right now. No, but you'll go to deal with that and it'll reveal several things underneath it that you have to work through before you can even get to that next thing. So you have to deal with those layers. You can't skip a step because what'll happen is that you'll skip a step. and then you'll go back 10 because you weren't the version of yourself ready to sustain that blessing. So a lot of the times you'll get granted things. It's okay, you want that? Go ahead and have it. And it'll fall through your fingers like sand because you were not the version of yourself ready to sustain that.
That's correct.
So I found myself praying for things like, oh, I want this, or tangible things instead of virtues. And so I've had to change my prayers. I've had to change my meditations because I'm no longer praying, can I get that big house? Can I have that nice car? Can I get that raise? Can I get the following or the people around? No, it's not that. It's can I be the person and the version of myself that can sustain the things that are already mine?
Yeah.
Because you're just going to keep running into, oh man, I dropped that again. I dropped the ball again. I dropped the ball again because you weren't the version of yourself ready to hold that ball.
Yeah.
And so it's literally about the morality and your virtues and the kind of person that you are. I told my husband, my first, that fumbled completely. And it's because my heart space, it's a lot of pointing of the fingers that you can do when you're healing. But it's no point in pointing the fingers because it's a version of you that attracted that. It's a version of you that brought that towards you. And the work is in saying, how did that person even get access to me?
Yes. Before you go, before you go on, I'm going to stop you there. Please remember what you were saying, because let me write down notes. That version. Okay. I do want to add to that, if you don't allow me to.
Absolutely.
You know, what I found out for myself as I'm growing every single day, because I grow every day. I'm even not the same the person I was last week, because I learned something new. Allow me to reintroduce myself, right?
Quick. Yeah.
And people say, I remember, you remember you did this? And sometimes I do. And sometimes that version of me was like, it's gone. Right? But however, I do remember where my growth took place in it, right? And so a lot of times we're aligned, and I said this to you, we wonder why we chose that particular job or that particular person or that. It was because that's where we were aligned at.
Absolutely.
That was the version of us that was aligned with that. And so we're like, why did I end up? Well, because you were aligned that was the self-love that you have for yourself also. That's how you were loving yourself, by what you chose and what came and what you accepted and what came into your life.
Absolutely.
Right? And so a lot of times people, you got to wonder what's triggering you. Even if you're in a triggering environment, what is behind the trigger that you are being triggered?
I
know I said that 3 times, but it's true.
Allowing something to have that power over you. And it's really a hard pill to swallow, to get into a space where you're like, I'm aligned with this wicked person. And how did this person get access to me? What's in me? And that was the work that I did. My ex-husband was wicked. And now I'm with my husband now, and I'm like, he's willing to do the work. It's not that we don't have things inside of us that need to be worked on. It's the reality that, oh my gosh, I'm with somebody that even when we stumble, even when we fall,
that he's willing to do the
work.
That's what subs is.
The work is in the repair. So I find the same thing in my friendships. Like I lost a friend, and I'm like, why don't you want to talk to me? Why don't you want to make it okay? Why don't you want to have the hard conversation that allows us to grow past this? And I realized the grace wasn't in what I gave to her. It was in what I was willing to give to myself. Yeah. You're begging for her forgiveness, but have you forgiven yourself?
Yeah. But let's go to attachment styles with that.
Yes.
Okay. Because you have people that are, and I never say that people are totally secure attachment style, because anything in life can separate you from your own security, right? Absolutely. If you allow it to, because we live real life. Anything could happen, right? But we have the anxious, and anxious comes from trauma and things like that. And you have the avoidant, and avoidant comes from trauma, right? And I think a lot of times people are just afraid to reveal their authenticity and who they really are, because they're afraid of what people may think or not think or whatever. Absolutely. And then we try to build this facade of who we are for validation from people, so people won't think that we're broken. And so when it comes to that, I think even in friendships, like you were saying, in relationships, instead of talking out the problem, saying, hey, listen, I know I got something. I know you got something. Let me work on me. You work on you. And we're going to bring that to the table so that we can make it work if we really want to make it work, because we all have something that we've struggled with or come from. Some people have body image issues. I'm telling you, you know, some people have parents that they just didn't connect with. We didn't ask for our parents, right? They were just given to us. So, you know, we didn't ask for them, right? And so there are parents, and sometimes they deal with that. Sometimes we deal, like you said, with children who just have these expectations. You're mom and you should just know it. The same thing with mothers who have the expectations of their children. It's just a lot that we deal with as being regular people. And we really do a lot of times try to put on this tough exterior, when inside, a lot of us are traumatized and hurting.
Absolutely.
And I went through this program, shout out to Choice Centers here in Las Vegas, about 4 or 5 years ago. And I was able to work through some of those things, just like what you're doing. That's why I'm so proud. Like, I'm so proud of you, right? I know we don't get a chance to talk all the time because we're lifing and doing things, mother stuff and other stuff that we're trying to do. But I really do want you to know that I still love you like the day I met you. You were just amazing, right? And I'm so proud of you and what you're trying to accomplish, because this is something people really, really need.
Yeah.
And I really believe in sisterhood.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of times people think that's being, oh yeah, you can't love people that much. I really do.
You can.
I'm not even kidding, because I come from a place where, when you come from a place where you haven't had that, you typically are one of those people, and people find it weird sometimes. Like, you really love, like, how can you say because I do.
And people find love. It's so interesting because I think that in sisterhood, especially Black sisterhood, we are so tough and so rigid in the worlds that we come from and
so judgmental with each other.
We literally, we are, instead of looking at someone who is negative sideways, we tend to look at people that are joyful more sideways than we look at people who are negative. Like, what do you have to be smiling about? What is your like, whoa, what is she so jolly for all the time? You know, and I think that I just was telling my girlfriend the other day, I'm like, I know what the reason why I cultivated Breathe with Raven and the Rage Releases, because I know what it's like to have the biggest smile and the loudest laugh in the room,
even
and
in the
going
midst of
through the worst season of your life.
Touch and agree.
So knowing what that feels like, I treat people according to that reality. Because I know that you can be smiling at me, and I know that you're. First of all, I read energy. So that's first. So typically when people smile at me anyway, it's always like I can touch a person and go, oh, you okay?
You know why, though. We talked about that,
Yeah.
right? I'm the same way.
Yeah. Are you all right? Are you okay? Because, you know, this is a safe space, and that's what birth Rage Release is, because the first time that I hosted this event, I sold about 12 tickets in the weeks before. The day of, Eventbrite blew up. And I had about 45 women show up.
Yes.
And I had to be so transparent and vulnerable with this group of women. Like, you guys, the ticket sales, this happened last night. I woke up in the morning. I'm like, as of last night, I had 12 tickets sold. As of this morning, I have 45. There was no way for me to prepare for the volume of women. And so what we did was we had to take turns. I only had tarps laid down for the 12 women that had purchased their tickets previously. And what I learned in that was the power of my vulnerability. I told these women, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have a bunch of extra stuff in my car. And women who purchased their tickets, they gathered together and went and carried the stuff from my car out to the middle of the desert.
How amazing that was.
So it was literally the power of my vulnerability that made me realize, like, people aren't used to feeling safe. They aren't used to being able to say, this happened to me today, or this is what's wrong with me, because there's so much shame. And it's just like, what I found in my vulnerability was solidarity. I found that the moment that I opened up my mouth and said, I'm going through this, I found 12 other women in the room who were going through the same thing and felt like I was speaking directly to them.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the times our shame hides that. It's that desire for that external validation. You realize that all the people around you are looking for the same thing. And if we just stop with the masking up and have a moment of true, like me and you sat in the car,
oh my God, we
crying
talked
the first time we met.
Yes, we did.
And it was the power of the vulnerability that was like, I'm gonna just tell you what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Because I tell people, don't ask me. If you say, how are you? If I ask you, how are you? And you go and you vomit up the mouth and you tell me that's exactly what I wanted you to give me, sis, or I wouldn't have asked. And I think that we've dumbed down the power of how are you? Because if somebody gives you anything other than I'm good, all of a sudden that's too much for you.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you this, because we were in the car crying. I'm
we
just
were.
Gonna be honest with you. But I do want to tell you this. Sometimes people don't, well, if I were you, I would do this. If I were you, would do. People don't always say everything that they're going through or everything that they've been through. And it's easy for people to judge something that they know. You don't have to tell people your business for you to. And the thing about it is you want to feel safe, right? And a lot of times you don't feel safe in different rooms. And so that's why, going back to the Rage Release, I am I'm excited. I'm excited for you. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a commercial break.
Okay.
And we're going to come back, sis, and we're going to talk some more, okay?
Awesome.
We have Raven Fitzgerald here on the show, and you guys, you just got to come back. You listen to The Flow right here with Her Flow on Hot 702.5 FM. We'll be right back.
I used to find my peace in your arms. Thought your love could shelter me from the storm. But silence got heavy, the truth in your eyes. You don't want forever, just passing time. I gave you soft when you gave me stone. Try to build a home where you never belong. Now I see clearer, it's all in view. What I thought I needed, I don't need from you. I outgrew you. Like daylight breaks the night, I outgrew you. Found my worth in my own life. No ring, no promise, but I'm not confused. Love's not supposed to make me feel you, so I'm stronger now. It's the honest truth. You kept me in shadows, hidden away. While your world shine bright in the brightest day, I won't be a secret, won't dim my flame. A real love won't ever put me to shame. I was the soft, I was the same, but peace don't live where respect is replaced. Now I'm walking forward, I know what to do. The girl who once loved you, she outgrew you. I outgrew you. Like daylight breaks the night, I outgrew you. Found my worth in my own life. No ring, no promise, but I'm not confused. Love's not supposed to make me feel you, so I'm stronger now. It's the honest truth. No
Hey, this is Her Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, where we bring you the best in hip hop, R&B, pop, and talk. Tune in. With Her Flow right here at Hot 702.5 FM. You guys, every week at 4 p.m., I am blazing hot. Y'all cannot miss an episode. And if you have, go back to Twitch, go to YouTube, go to IG. You can even download the Hot 702 Alexa app and say, hey, listen, I want to listen to Her Flow. And you can, right? You can. If you want to look at my bio, go to www.hot702.5fm.com. And guess what? You'll see me. You'll see how fly I am. I'm just letting you know. All right. So, listen, we have Raven Fitzgerald, and I'm going to let her reintroduce. If you missed out on the first segment, you shouldn't have, but if you did, I want you to understand an assignment for next week. But I want Raven, introduce yourself again and tell me about your event that's happening here soon in August. So go ahead.
Absolutely. I am Raven Fitzgerald from Solely Rooted LV. That is our umbrella company. This is a Breathe with Raven offering. So it's specifically from my heart space, and I do it every single year. And what it is it's the rage release, where we give your anger a safe space to be released, a safe space where you can let go and then come back into your body. So we start with a guided rage release session, and then we go into beginner's yoga and breath work, which is for everyone of every age. Couples, men, women, children ages 8 and up are also welcome as well. We have our tickets posted everywhere right now. Eventbrite, Party Full, everywhere. Anywhere that you could purchase a ticket, we have our tickets up for purchase. Yes. And it's also in my bio of Breathe with Raven on social media and Solely Rooted LV on social media as well.
Yeah, and this young lady, you guys, she's doing big things, okay? So if you want an event to go through and go to, please go to Eventbrite and all of the other places that you said you can buy tickets, you guys. This is so important in the, I would say, in the society that we live in today, because people are so ashamed to say, hey, I'm listening, I'm going through something, right? And we're all going through something. And sometimes we need to release, and we don't even know how to release sometimes, right? And therapy is real, but do you work with therapists?
I do. I work with therapists. I work with all different sorts of therapists, actually. Okay. So I partner with many therapists, but like even for this specific event, this rage release, I have Sable Danielle of Resonance Oasis. Okay. She's coming and she's providing shout out to her. Shout out to her. Yes. She will be live on site. She has the only oversized sound bowl that you can fit inside of in Las Vegas, Nevada. So she literally is a blessing to have her on site. Her and her van will be on site. So she'll provide the sound healing, and she is also a human design coach. Okay. And that is a therapy of sorts where she takes you through what your human design is, and she will have all of that available on site at the event as well, and that's included in your ticket price.
Human design. I've never heard of it before.
Absolutely.
Do you know anything about it?
Look, don't get me to lie about something that's not my specialty.
Because I was going to say, hey, tell our audience a little bit of human design.
It is, and if you go to Eventbrite where we have the tickets posted, there's a very in-depth explanation of what the human design is, what the sound healing will encompass, and everything that she'll be able to offer. So her van is also mobile. Okay. So if you have an event, she can pull up to your event and offer this as an add-on for your event as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. So let me ask you a question, Raven. And I just really we're going to get into the deep tea. We're going to get into the tasteful tea, some not so tasteful tea, but we're going to get into it, right? Tell me, what's the difference between rage and anger? What do you think?
So I would say that the difference between, I think rage is birthed from anger. I think that the anger that you don't deal with turns into rage. I think that, so if I had to word it, I would say that anger is rage's baby. I think that literally when you do not deal with your anger, it turns
manifests into different ways.
Explosive rage.
Yeah.
And I think that rage, I think we've given anger the negative connotation, but what anger becomes is what's really the negative connotation. Because if you don't deal with it when it's just an emotion, it's because all emotions are just temporary emotions. Happiness. All of them, they're all temporary. They come and go.
And we make decisions sometimes on temporary emotions.
Those temporary emotions.
I want you to stop right there, right? I want to say this to my listening audience. Do not make decisions based on temporary emotions. And I'll tell you why. Because it takes you to a place that you may regret, or it takes you to a place that you may not want to go. So be aware, and I'm speaking to the choir. Just be aware of your own emotions. I had to learn that, to be aware. And people are saying, you had to be, Me too. You have to be aware of that, because when you're aware, okay, why am I feeling this way? What's making me feel this way? Is it something that's triggering in me? And if you're around something that's triggering you, that's making that way, that's also a problem, because you still have to look back at yourself. I just need to say that.
Absolutely.
Right? I had to say that.
Most definitely.
So Raven, tell me, what are some of the reasons people book a session typically when they come to you? What are some of the reasons?
One of the major reasons is grief. One of the major reasons is something happened. I don't know how to deal with the loss of it. And a lot of the times it's also the gain of it. I've had women come to me and they are going to a new level. And they thought they were going to be at the level they were at forever, and their heart space isn't ready for that next level. So they come to me and they say, help me prepare. How do I prepare my body to walk this walk? Because a lot of the times we're talking it for a long time before we walk into it. And by the time that it's really at your feet, are you ready? Can you handle that? Can you approach that with grace? Can you give yourself, there's going to be a lot of L's, there's going to be a lot of W's. And can you navigate both? Can you accept a L while you're still winning? Can you navigate that? Can you still see that, oh my goodness, I know what I'm aiming towards. And maybe I took a step back. Can you hold the vision? A lot of the times clients come to me with just sight and no vision. Like, I see it, but I can't invest in it. I can't trust myself.
And you have to have faith that vision, you know, and a lot of times too, and because we flow like this, okay, no pun intended, but you know, a lot of times, even if you can't see the vision, I walk in faith so much.
So much.
I walk, every day is a faith walk for me. And I manifest. I told you this. I was like, you know what? I'm a master manifester, good or bad. Whatever I say and whatever I bring into my spirit. I used to talk to myself so rough. I used to give myself such a guilt trip on why did you? I don't anymore. I talk to myself very lovingly. And of those days that I have to get up and say, you know what, maybe you need to stay in the bathtub for 15 more minutes, or maybe you need to go for a walk, or maybe you need to journal. Whatever it takes for me now, I do that.
Literally.
It may not be nothing. It may be me just sitting in my car for 15 minutes listening to some music. But I make sure that I do self-care, because what's in me, it's going to spill out to everyone else.
That's what I tell my husband all the time. A lot of the times when I first met my husband, I told him, I said, I could tell you're mean to yourself. And he would say, because you're mean. You come off aggressive. You come off rough. It's in love. Even his love is like rough and tough. And I'm like, I wonder how your internal talk is. Like, how do you talk to you? It must be rough up there, because the way that you exude your energy out into the world is it's like, calm down. It's not. And so you can literally see, you cannot, like, when I close my sessions, I always say, allow me to be peaceful in my mind, peaceful from my lips, and peaceful from my heart, because then it'll allow me to do that for other people. If you don't speak kindly to yourself, the expectation that you're going to be able to speak kindly to other people, it's slim to none. Because I can tell when the way a person handles conflict, I can tell your internal conflict is getting the best of you, because you can't even show up whole in this conversation, because your internal meter is beating you down.
You can't conversate. You can't communicate.
You can't do any of that.
Okay, you can't activate.
You have no ability.
There's all the eights are going.
You can't do any of it at all, because you literally handle yourself so roughly. And so even for me, having 9 children, the number one thing is like, how did I talk to myself today? Because I know when I have a short fuse with them, it's something in me that I'm lacking patience in. It's something in me that I'm like, I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time. So then you start handling everything you run into in the day like you're running out of time. Like literally the day that I met you, I had forced myself, you know what? I'm going to go to the Goodwill. I'm literally going to go, and I'm going to just, I'm not looking for anything.
It's therapy.
And then I found you.
I promise you, it's
and
therapy.
It's like literally I'm not looking for anything. And then I see you in there, you're not looking for anything. And it's like, oh, we were going to find each other. That was the whole reason that was the whole reason that,
and you know, because you asked me like, what are you here for? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just kind of taking some therapy time to myself, you know, looking for stuff that you don't normally see in the store.
Yep, absolutely.
And in that was where I was supposed to be.
Me too, same.
And that's
that
how it's been.
Walk you talk. Like when you are willing to trust source, when you are willing to say, you know what, I am just gonna go. I'm gonna take the step. I'm gonna do the thing. And it's like, and I tell all my girlfriends, like, I love you guys dearly, but you guys play too many games. So a lot of things you end up doing alone. A lot of the rooms that I walk into, I walk in alone. I walk in nervous. I walk in anxious. I walk in like scared. I don't even know. And I tell my husband all the time, you have to do it scared. Do it scared.
Please say that one more time for the people in the back.
You have to do it scared.
You have to do it scared.
You have to do it
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah.
waiting for the energy that only doing it is going to give you. You're like, hold on, I'm going to wait until I'm ready. There's no readiness. The
Yeah.
readiness arrives when you get there, if that's where you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
And like my husband was going through this season. He's a plumber, and he was going through the seasons where the jobs, I'm like, and he said to me, man, I missed that interview. I said, you can't miss something that's yours. That doesn't make
It's going to come back around though, because if
Yeah.
it's yours, it's going to come
gonna
back around. That's why I
You
no
don't
longer do
lose
that.
access.
Yeah,
You don't
Raven.
lose access to things
Yeah.
that belong to you.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's complete. So he was like, no, I know I'm right, because if it was yours, baby, it's yours.
It's yours.
He's like,
Yep.
she didn't call me back because I missed. No, she didn't call you back because it was never yours. And then literally that next week, he manifested the job that he has been like, this is it. This is the job. And he knew it. And I said, imagine if she would have called you back.
Exactly.
Imagine if you would have took the job and the interviews from last week. Imagine what that would have felt like. And then this job calls you, and you have to. No, it was divine timing. You have to, that's why I say the virtues within yourself, you have to literally, especially in those seasons, because we're in the seasons where it's like, we got 9 kids. We can't afford for our breadwinners to not have a job. That's not a thing that we can't, but it's a season. It's not a forever. And so you use that season to cultivate the virtues that make you the better applicant.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. And you don't know how much now in this season that I'm in, like, I love her. I really love her because I am able to now look back and say, you know what, this is what I'm manifesting for you, girl.
I got you.
This is how I talk to myself.
Yes, me too.
And I say, you know what, you're going to be so proud of me. And I'm talking to that next version of me. You're going to be so proud of me.
Give me a minute.
Give me a minute. Let me navigate some stuff. Let me cook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't go back to, you know, I'm in this, what do we call it, this deficit mindset.
That woe is me.
That woe is me mindset,
Yeah.
that deficit mindset. Oh yeah, I've been through this, and oh my God, I through it, right?
Through it.
And it got me
that's
to
the key,
this.
through it.
Yeah.
Because the shame will have you thinking, see, it used to be you could tell me a story and I'll be like, no, it wasn't me. Now you tell me, yep, it was me. I
Yep,
was there.
that was me.
I did it.
That
I
was
sure
me.
did.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
now that
yeah.
birthed what you're looking at right now. And so
Exactly.
in friendships, in loss, in rage and anger, you literally have to be, my aunt said, be 10 toes down in all of your decisions.
Yes.
No matter what it makes you look like, no matter who you were. Because if you can honestly say, and a lot of people can't honestly say, and that is the work of release. It is literally, you cannot honestly say that you let that go.
Nope.
And that's why when somebody brings it up, you get shameful. You
Yeah.
start cowering
Yeah, yeah.
into
No,
a
I did
corner.
that. I did that.
Because
I
now
probably
I don't
did.
have
Yeah.
that anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you can come to me and you can say, hey, Raven, I heard. And I'm going to say, yep, sure enough.
Yep, and
let me
sometimes
tell you
people
what I
get bits and
learned.
pieces
Yeah.
of what they heard. So they try to put that story together. Oh, I heard this part and I heard this
You
part. Then
can't
they'll
tell
ask
me
somebody else.
nothing.
You can't tell me nothing about my story.
I was there.
You better say
I
that
was
again.
there. I tell people,
You
I
better
was
say that
there.
again.
How can you tell me?
Yeah, unless you were a fly on the
Yeah.
wall,
You weren't.
you can't
I
say.
was there. I
Yeah.
got all the details stored in me
That's
and in my
correct.
body and in my growth.
That's correct.
And when I
That's
look back,
correct.
it's in my footprints.
That's correct.
And the feet that the 10 toes I'm standing on now, that came from those footprints that you want to discuss. And let's get into it.
Yes,
I used to
sis.
shy away, but people come, let's get into it. I used to couldn't go into rooms where people I had rifts with were because, oh my God, how do I face her? How do I deal with that? No, sis, I'm not shrinking. I'm going to stand in the same room with you
And smile.
and smile
And have a good time.
and be so joyful
Exactly.
while you're over there trying to figure out
Exactly.
how is she, because baby, at the end of the day, I did the work and you can't hold me hostage to a version of myself that doesn't exist anymore. So I can look you in your eyes and I can say, hey, how
Hey,
you
girl,
doing?
hey.
What's up? Like, how you doing? Because the version of me that you dealt
Y'all
with,
see me reaching
she's
across
not
the table,
even
but this
here.
my sister right here.
She's not even
I tell
available.
you, I'm telling you, girl. And the house moved too. Not just the address moved, but the whole house
Whole
is
house,
not
it
even
don't
on the block
exist
no more. It don't exist no more. I
So
love
you
that.
cannot hold me hostage to that,
I
no
love
matter
that.
how hard you try.
Yes.
And what I find is that I hate that for you. I hate
you still gotta
you
carry
still
that.
carrying
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Because that's what sisterhood
Yep.
means for
Yep.
me. Because how
Exactly.
can I? Let's get into this conversation, sis, so you can let it go
Exactly,
too.
and let's find out what's going on so
What
that
is
we
the
could.
thick of it?
Yeah, so
Let's really
that it
get
may be
into
something
it.
that I didn't even realize. But if you don't come and talk to me about
How was
it,
I supposed
how
to
am I supposed to
know?
correct it?
I can't.
How am I supposed to love on you and
Exactly.
love us back to the place that we were? Even if we
Yes.
can't love us back to, I wish the best for you, and I want you to heal
And I
from
want
that.
you to know,
And I want you to know.
that I wish the best
Exactly.
for you. Even if that
Exactly.
proximity has changed,
Exactly.
even if you're way over
Exactly.
there now and we used to spend 5 days a week together and now I only see you once a month, I want you to understand that there's love in your shifts.
Yeah,
I'm not, because a lot of the times, especially in African American women and our friendships and what we're taught, it's like there's no hate there. It's all love, always, always, baby.
But we've been
All
taught
the
so
time.
much of that, that cattiness, and we can't compliment other women, and we can't, we can't be a part of their world without them thinking we want something from
And that's actually
the
how
outside.
you broke the
You know
ice
what I
with me
mean?
in the Goodwill. You said, I just want you to know you're a goddess. We don't say that to
I
each
did
other
say
enough.
that. I
That was
did
the
say that
first thing
because
you
you are.
said. And I was like, and you were like, yeah, that's the first thing. And it's the embrace. And the moment
And
that
I
I came
hugged you. I said,
back
"Come
around
here,
the
give me a
store,
hug."
you was like,
Yeah.
it was an immediate,
Yeah,
like, you're
yeah.
open to the embrace.
Yes,
And it's like, there's
yes.
work in that. There's a thriving in that. That's more, that's community.
But we both needed that.
Yes, we did.
And you
the
came
hug
to me and you
lasted
said,
way longer than it was intended.
I know people are walking. I said, walk around.
Yeah.
It's okay. Hi,
Like,
can you walk
it's
around for a minute?
Literal,
Yeah.
like that is the community,
Yeah.
because what we
Yeah.
are used to is, especially inside friendships and relationships, is the convenience. And the reality of it is that relationships are inconvenient, baby. Community is inconvenient. You show up, you called me this morning, I'm tired. I am tired. And you said, yeah, this is for you. And I'm like, but I'm
Get here,
tired.
Raven.
And
Give
you were
me.
like, and
Are
I'm
you
like,
ready
and
for that interview I
am-
told you would have? Let's go.
I am tired. And all I kept, and my husband even said, he said, you're going to have to push through.
Yeah.
He was like, you're
Yeah.
going to have to push
Yeah.
through. And literally when you walk into this space and you embrace me, my energy, I found it. And I was like, I've been looking, I've been in my house hiding away because Mercury retrograde had me in a tizzy for the last 3 to 4 weeks.
Yes.
And so it was literally, I was in an emotional height. And when you're in an emotional height and you're releasing.
That's when you do the work.
You're doing all of that
That's
work,
right.
but it's exhausting.
Right. But that's when you're leveling up too.
It is.
Soon as you find yourself at that place, because I found myself at that place, like I just had to, sometimes I sit on my balcony and I just sit and I look at the stars and I do just shadow work on my balcony. I'm quiet. People are like, wait, what do you do out there? I'm doing shadow work. I'm thinking about, I'm
In
aware
my
of where my
shadows.
thoughts are right now. I'm aware of what I want to do. So now I move with intent. And we talked about that too. And, even times when I'm like, how am I going to do or what am I going to do? I move with intent. Goes back to, if it's for me to have,
It's yours.
it's mine. And I grasp it, right? Ooh, this is deep. I love it. That tea was pretty good. Though. I don't know.
girl.
I don't know. All right. So I want to talk about, have you noticed a difference between what people are dealing with emotionally when they come into, can you notice the difference whether somebody's going through different phases when they come to your events?
Absolutely. So when people come, a lot of the times, so we have multiple different type of people that show up at the event. You have
Okay.
the social butterflies who come in and they're ready. They know they're coming for the work. They know the work. They know they need to smash some stuff. They know, like, as soon as I'm done smashing some stuff, I'm going to feel better. Then you have the people who are moderately and they're in the middle. And they're like, I don't even know why I'm here, but something told me to buy the ticket.
Yeah. What kind of stuff can they
Something told me-
smash?
Oh man, you're
Yeah,
smash-
tell me.
So what we do is we do what we call a junk call. So
Okay.
2 weeks before the event, we do a junk call. I send out a call to the community and I say, let me come get your stuff. Whatever you have. I've had people donate roof tiles from work that they had done
Wow.
on their roof. I
Yeah.
had one lady, she had 160 wine bottles and she donated them all to the event. I had a young man who's like a gadgeteer and he collects stuff for parts. So he had a bunch of old computers and a bunch of old TVs. So we were breaking that. We had roof tiles, wine bottles, like when I say the amount of junk that we get, we normally can't even sustain it. That's why when all the women showed up that I wasn't expecting, I was like, I got a bunch more stuff in my car. Like, I know I only brought down enough for 12, but I got a car full of literally things that we can smash. So it's like very similar to when you go into an organized rage release where they just have things sitting on different shelves and you can bust them down. It was like, so your old TVs that might have a slit down the middle, your old computers that just don't work anymore, your hard drives. And then when you go to the Goodwills, they have things that cannot be donated. And so when you go to the Goodwills, they say, please take it. Please take it all. And so we end up putting all that down in tarps because I'm very environmentally conscious and this was another learning curve.
Yeah.
My first rage release, it was things everywhere. And we spent an additional, which was in the power of community. The event itself is 2.5 hours long, but we spent an additional 2 hours in the desert making sure we picked everything up from off
that's
the
what's
earth
up.
that was there.
Yes, I
So-
love that. And I love the community. Shout out to the women that helped you
I'm
do that.
telling you. And then we went into
Wow.
the parking lot and we weren't done. It was pitch black dark outside, but you can sense the energy. And a lot of people, some people had to leave. So that goes to the different types of people. Some people come for the event and they go. And then some people linger. And we have readers, we have empaths, we have Sable Danielle who's going to be on site. They literally will stay around to get the gifts of the people in the collective. So we had a woman doing tarot readings.
Can I tell you something though? This is on my mind, and I got to say it right now. I honestly think that you should work with the school district here. That was just something that just came to me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you have a lot of children, and you know I work, you know, I teach children in different, work with children in different aspects, right? And I think a lot of them don't have the ability or the tools to work, and I think that's something you should do. I'm just saying, we only got 1 minute, but I just wanted to throw that out there for you and tell you, I think it would be amazing.
Absolutely.
That was in my spirit. Okay.
Seed planet, sis.
You guys, listen, this was deep. If you missed the entire interview, I'm not even going to shame you because guess what? That's not what we're here for. But I do want you to go back and look at it. It's a lot of information. And please tell them where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at Breathe with Raven on social media as well as Solely Rooted LV.
Yes. And so when is the event again?
August 29th, 6 to 9 p.m.
And where can they find the tickets?
You can find them everywhere. Eventbrite, Party Full, anywhere that you purchase your tickets, they're there.
And what's the date?
August 29th.
August 29th.
Yes.
Okay, 2026.
Yes.
You guys, thank you for listening. Thank you, Raven, for coming. I love you. You're my sister. I love you. You guys, you've been listening to The Flow right here with Her Flow at Hot 702.5. And one more thing, if you need dental work, please go to Supreme Dental. You'll see if you go to The Flow, on Her Flow on Facebook, you'll see that the QR code there to get your dental work done. I'm on my way too, y'all. I'm on my way. But listen, you've been listening to The Flow right here with Her Flow on Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. I'll see you next week, 4 p.m. Right here. See you next week.
Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out.
Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On Hot 702.5FM.com.